Mr. Ambassador, do I get the impression and the others get the impression when we read official statement by the US government that are being regarding these welfare centers but are unfavorable to the Sri Lankan government, and why that your story is not being taken very seriously?
That is a big question. In fact, about 2 weeks after the war ended, I took a congressman from here to Sri Lanka, and I accompanied him to all these welfare camps. Manik Farm, I went with him, and I told him, I got down from the vehicle with him, and I told him to walk, and you go. That is, at that time the conditions were not very good because that was just 2 weeks after the war ended. So he came out and he gave excellent statement. You must have seen that statement. And he said, you know, the picture that we see in this part of the world is different to what is actually happening in Sri Lanka. There is no problem in Sri Lanka. These are not luxury hotels. These are welfare centers. So, and suddenly you get so many people coming in and there are problems. Now little by little we have solved them. But it's very sad that to say that these are not, you know, Sri Lankan government is not doing a good job related to these civilians. So likewise, not daily basis, hourly basis, we educate the State Department, we educate the Congress, we educate the Senate, we educate the media. So some media, there are some good, in fact I was going through some media reports, Reuters, the BBC, the CNN, there are good reports too, but there are bad reports. In fact, I have sent about 12 journalists to Sri Lanka during last 2 months, including New York Times reporter. She went to the camp and she gave a balanced report. The thing is, when they go, they are not 100% good. If they see 7 good things and 2 bad things, they are not talking about the 7 good things, they talk about 2 bad things. So I think this is, everybody is interested in bad things, so that's why they are doing it. So even here, if you see otherwise it's not news. So we'll have to understand it. But at the same time, we do our job by educating the State Department, not daily basis, hourly basis. It's the actual story of Sri Lanka.
Professor Hangawatte and Mr. Ambassador, you are a political analyst and you are giving the official version. The same question I'll give you less than 1 minute.
More academic.
Academic answer. Give me an answer within 1 minute for this question. What should the international community need to learn from the defeat of the liberation tigers of Tamil Eelam or Tamil tigers in Sri Lanka, and how should the international community needs to help Sri Lanka to prevent another mobilization, and what benefit does the international community reap in doing so?
The military campaign was conducted with precision and with laser-like focus. We must be very thankful to the defense establishment of Sri Lanka for doing that, from which many others also can learn how to militarily crush an internal terrorist campaign. It was an internal one, a domestic terrorist campaign. So there are many things that one can learn from. I'm sure many books will be written on the subject very soon, maybe in the future. On the second question,
second is, how should the international community needs to help Sri Lanka to prevent another mobilization, and what benefit does the international community reap in doing so?
Actually I look at this a little bit differently. Instead of always asking what can the international community do, we must also ask at the same time, simultaneously, what can we do? So there has to be some reciprocity. It can't be just a one-way street. So talking about that, we have to also take certain steps. In other words, we must we must not let this war capital, I refer to it as war capital, go to waste. Why I refer to it as war capital is whenever the war has been conducted and it's won, there are certain things, certain rights that the victor gets out of that. In this case, the victor is the government of Sri Lanka. And the government can use the war as the basis, as the foundation for developing a new social political structure instead of continuing with the same. Of course, I can see what the government, on the one hand, the government is doing certain things for the development, and especially I can see how the development is directed towards the periphery, okay, with emphasis on agriculture, etc. Agriculture, fisheries, and those things, which is pretty good, which is a very good thing. However, still these are being done under the present structure. The problem is we have a structure that has been sinking. I'm talking about the political structure, constitution, etc., the legal foundations. That has been sinking. In a sinking structure, if we simply repair a roof tile, a leaking roof tile, or if you simply put a coat of paint, that's not going to still change that, it's going to sink. This is somehow I fail to understand why the government is not using that capital, because legally it's a very good foundation. They have a good legal foundation. We don't need to wait for this 2/3 majority. There is a way to do that. Okay, legally, constitutionally it can be done. It has been done. It can be done in other places. So that's one. And when I talk about the constitutional foundation, I look at again. Is it okay if I take a little longer?
1 minute.
I don't know. I know there are those who propose the proponents of the 13th Amendment, right? In my view, 13th Amendment is just, forgive me, Ambassador, I know that you can't talk about this, but 13th Amendment is, in my view, just a band-aid. It will stop the bleeding for now, but it's not a solution. Okay. And also another problem with that is this provincial system seems to be based on the idea that we have ethnic, religious divisions. Whenever you create regions or division, whatever, based on that assumption, that will further the divisions, that will not heal the divisions. Okay, that's another problem. And so we have to come up with some kind of a unitary solution where we can unite the entire country.